Spencer, when you look at the Texas defense, what stands out to you?
They got some cats. Like I said, they got number 0. They got a good backer. I feel like they got some talent in the secondary. B.J. Foster, I feel like he's been around for a while. I played against him a couple times. So it's kind of Texas. They always kind of get those cats. They always kind of have the 5 stars here and there all the time. So it's exciting. But like I've been telling all the guys around just the facility and stuff like that, like it's just the next game mentality. We can't look at either the opponent's bigger or smaller. It's just the next game mentality. We're taking this one game at a time. All we need is just a W on the slot next week. So as long as we just do what we do and stay fundamental, I think we'll be great.
Did you were in the same class as Casey Thompson? Did you know much about him?
I went to a camp with him actually. I chopped it up with him a little bit. He's a great cat. He's got unbelievable athletic abilities. He's got a great touch with the ball. He's got great rotation on the ball, and he's great. I believe he's a great quarterback. They got another good quarterback too. I heard Casey just started over him a couple games ago, so I'm excited for him. I'm excited to see what he's got in person.
On your recruiting process, at one point, Mike was yesterday saying he was recruiting both you and Casey at the same time. Can you kind of go back to your recruiting process a little bit and what that was like for you?
I've never been scared of competition, so I don't remember really if who they were recruiting at the time. I just knew like, hey, I wanted to go here. I'm gonna go here. It's just all about competition. I've competed my entire life, so I stopped now. So I don't really know too much about that. Sorry, I can't give you too much about it.
What was the pitch to you? Do you remember what their pitch was to you?
That's a great question that I cannot answer. I don't even think I remember. I was just excited. Probably.
Spencer, Coach Gundy talked to us yesterday about footwork and gave us even a bit of a tutorial up on the stage. But for you coming off the Baylor game, what would have kind of been the things you've worked on?
You spoke of yourself. Footwork and fundamentals. The thing is like all these questions I can answer with the same answer is technique and fundamentals. Because the thing is we have coaches that get paid to teach us fundamentals. So like my coach Rattay, he's played in the league for a long time. He knows a lot. So the thing is as long as I can harness him, just little things, and just keep it and just keep going. I feel like as an offense, we'll really just overcome a step, and a lot of it has to do with me, and I'll take responsibility for it. And that's fine. I'm just I'm just excited for the next game to show. I'm just anxious.
You say like working with Coach Rattay, what are the things you do then in the 2 weeks in between to figure those little things out?
It's just you just go back and correct your mistakes. I'm a real big firm believer in doing things over and over again. Like the thing is, when I learn things or when I write down notes, I have to write it down probably like 3 times if I'm really gonna remember it. But the thing is I took the time to write it 3 down times. So when all hell breaks loose and we're in the middle of Texas and like the clock's winding down, I can still think about those little things just because I've harnessed, like I've just harassed myself so much of just taking in those little things. As long as you can remember those little things in the big time moments, they show up in big time moments, and the play can be a whole lot different just by one step.
How different is the Spencer Sanders we're seeing now to the Spencer Sanders who went down to Austin 2 years ago? That was like one of your first big national kind of breakout games.
I would say a little hyper. I was running everywhere. Probably not as quick as I was. Maybe, I don't know. I definitely say I'm just more experienced. Obviously, I played a couple games here, so it's just kind of just seeing things and knowing things. So I played Texas twice already, so it's kind of just like, I've seen this, I've seen that. It's just how can I take that in? How quick can I process it?
They've struggled against mobile quarterbacks, and that's obviously a big part of your game. Do you plan on not plan on, but has that been implemented more in the game plan this week of using your legs?
Yeah, it's there if we need it. Like I said earlier, it's just really just. Well, I didn't say it earlier. I said it like earlier in the week on media day. It's just really about just extending plays. So like say we have a play, a drop back pass play, and just getting out of the pocket, extending plays. Feet just kind of happens. You don't really want to game plan for that, because then you're kind of just game planning how you're going to extend a play and escape a pocket. And you can never really assume how it's going to go down on game day. So I feel like if we just take the measures that we've been taking it at of using my feet when we have to and using my arm when we have to, it's just I feel like we got a good balance, and it'll only get better.
You mentioned earlier you're anxious to play. Are you always anxious, or is it because it's Texas?
I'm always anxious to play, especially after that game. Like I'll even tell you myself, I didn't have the best game versus Baylor. I know I didn't have the best game. I want people to tell me that. I mean, that's just how I feel myself. So I'm just excited for the next game. Like that one's out the window.
What are those anxious moments like? What are those anxiety like? Is it
I wouldn't say so much of just anxiety. It's probably a good feeling because anxiety is like schoolwork. You got you ain't trying to do schoolwork. You know you have to. But no, it's just like an exciting thing. So say like I'm pretty sure one day you'll have children, or if you do have children, like you go tell them you go take them for ice cream when they're 3 years old. That's like that made their day. My thing is game day. I look forward to my Saturdays every week.
Did it make those 2 weeks off?
Say it one more time?
Did it make those 2 weeks off in between a little tougher?
No, my body needed those 2 weeks. I'll definitely take those 2 weeks. But no, I really feel like we took those 2 weeks and got better. Honestly, as offense as a defense, just as a whole, I feel like we really take advantage of the time that we have and put it into place.
When you line up against your defense in practice, how much do you have to be aware of where a guy like Tyler Lacey is lining up?
Well, first off, we talk to each other probably constantly, probably talking trash to each other before the play and laughing. But yeah, no, I can always see him. I can always feel him. Especially, I mean, big as he is, you can always feel his presence coming on you.
Mike yesterday mentioned that it sounds like the receivers are pretty close to being entirely healthy. What's that like for you to have maybe full receivers that you didn't have early in the season?
Well, like I said, excited and anxious. It's only so much of what we can display each week, limited because of injuries and stuff like that. So it's kind of just excited, to kind of be on full go, green light.